ask to, the first sexual encounter between your characters is really fascinating to me because up to that point, I thought George was just going after James in a very mercenary manner, but there's so much romance and tenderness to their connection. How did you guys think the characters were thinking of each other in those moments? Nicholas, was your character kind of falling for the king? Does he fall for the king, or is it just he's trying to get power?
I mean, I don't think in that first encounter is him necessarily falling. I think there is something very intense and passionate and beautiful about it, and the way, Tony delivers the dialogue in that scene so beautifully when he says, bury me. I want you to bury me. But there is something when we see George sort of turn, which is dominating about it, and I think it's kind of almost this sort of foreboding thing of what's to come. But I actually think, in episode 4 is really when we kind of see the sort of tenderness and the love and really it not being entirely transactional, a genuine care growing for him. Because I think, George finding out about Lennox really humanizes James when he sees his vulnerabilities and the fact that he has been taken advantage of in the past. I mean, how long that really lasts remains to be seen, but there is a sort of a sense of domestic bliss at one point,
Yeah, it's something that Nick mentioned in an interview I saw you talk about Julianne and his relationship with Mary Villiers and how he wanted the love from your mother. Yeah. And it's not something that just sort of occurred to me, and it's sort of the idea that he wants that sort of tenderness from the matriarch of his family, his mother, but that's something that King James never had. I've got Queen Anne and I've got Mary Villiers. There's not many women in his life, but there's a sort of correlation between George and James that they're as children, they want that sort of validation and that sort of love from their parents, which I didn't get because I never met my mother, but you certainly desire that from your mother, which I think is shapes the child as well in many ways.